Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, today I am back with my another video that is on object oriented programming system. So, what is OOPS? Okay, so let's discuss further. So, when we talk about object oriented programming system, it's a programming paradigm that organizes software design around objects and the relationship between them rather than focusing on functions and procedure. Okay, so I know that it was quite complicated for you to understand. So basically, object oriented programming language, let me explain you in the layman language, it's based purely upon object. As per the name suggests, it's based purely upon object. Okay, so when we talk about that is object, what do you mean by object? This object is it's based upon real world entity. The main purpose is to deal with the real world entity. Okay, and it's using in real world entity used in the programming language. So what is the main difference between oops and the procedural language is that in case of procedural language, it's quite difficult to solve the real world problems, but in object oriented programming language, it's easier to explain and easier to solve the real world entities, that is the real world problems. Okay, so in OOPS, a program is viewed as a collection of objects. It mainly depends upon objects. Now, what is objects? We will learn in the further videos. Also, I'll explain in brief in this video. Okay, so in OOPS, what we do is that we divide the program into different class as per their categories. Here we deal with class and we deal with objects as per the name suggests. Okay, so the approach here aims to create software that is modular, reusable, and easier to maintain. Okay, now in this slide we will learn about features of OOPS. Okay, so what are the features of OOPS? Let's see. It's class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. So, what is class? Now, when we talk about class, class is a logical entity. Okay, I'm writing it as LE. It's generally a template that is logical entity. Here we can define the logic. It doesn't take any space. It doesn't require any external memory as well. Okay, because now we will see further when we read about object. Now inside class we create object. So what is object? Whenever we create object for any class, at that time only memory is occupied for class. Generally if we create the class, class will not acquire any memory. But whenever we create object for any class, at that time only memory is occupied for that particular class. So whatever data is present there based upon their processing only oops is made. It's not based upon logic, it's based upon the data processing. So object has a state and behavior. This object has a state and behavior. When we talk about state, and I'm writing it as SB, it's based upon state and behavior. Suppose I am an object. Okay, suppose I am an object. So now like I'm teaching you, I that's my behavior. That's it. So that's a state and behavior. So we can make certain objects for a class. Object is an instance of class. Class is a logical entity. It does not exist physically, but object is the instance of class which exists physically. Okay, that is object. In the upcoming videos, we will learn in more depth about class and object. Okay, next we have inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance means reusability. We can extend our classes multiple times and reuse it. That is called as inheritance. Okay. After that we have polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Some object having different, same object, basically same object. Let me write it for you. It's same object. So same object having different behavior is known as polymorphism. For example, I'm teaching now. That means I'm your teacher. When I'll go to office tomorrow, I'll be employee at that time. So that is like same object having different behavior. Okay, that is called as polymorphism. Then we have encapsulation. What is encapsulation? It binds data and method into single unit. As per the name suggests, capsulation. So whenever you are suffering from any kind of viral fever, do you eat capsule? So what is that capsule made up of? One capsule is made up of combination of certain molecules. Okay. So like that only encapsulation binds data and matter into a single unit. That is called as encapsulation. Next we have abstraction. So what is abstraction? Essential information which we don't want to show the user is known as abstraction. It hides them. It shows only the one which is required by the user. For example, let's say creation of a mobile. So how the mobile is operating, how we can turn on it, how we can turn off it, and certain applications of the software of the mobile phone we know. So that much they show to us. But now we don't know that how the hardware inside the like how the hardware and the components of the mobile phone are connected to each other inside its architecture. That part we don't know because that we have never seen. Okay, and what are those components made up of also we don't know because that we have not seen. So that we can take an example of abstraction. So basically whatever essential information which we want to show the user and that it's hide like which we want to show the user that can be shown and which we want to hide it can be hidden, that function is called as the abstraction. So we can say abstract interface are the two types of abstraction. Okay, there are certain types of inheritance as well, but in this video I'm just covering the brief features of OOPS. In the upcoming videos we will learn in depth regarding the class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction. So no worries, just be tuned with my stay tuned with my channel. Okay, next we have the key characteristics of OOPS. So encapsulation, I've just mentioned over one line definition just for the recapitulation part. So encapsulation here, object hide their internal details and expose only necessary information. And abstraction, objects represent complex system in a simplified way. Inheritance, objects can inherit properties and behavior from parent objects, and polymorphism, objects can take on multiple forms depending upon the context. Okay, so here I have just mentioned some definition in brief. Nothing to worry. In my upcoming videos, we will learn in depth about these topics. Okay. So, from this concept, we can make a clarity in our mind that when the structural procedural programming language was there, it was very complex and long. It is very complex and long. In order to sort it out, OOPS is invented. Okay, so this was all about OOPS, and thank you. Thank you for joining me and keep me supporting. Please like, share, subscribe my channel and stay tuned for the upcoming videos. Thank you and take care.